right.
So don't come upstairs, make me Benoit all you motherfuckers.
Let's see if the red light's lit here yet. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. And today we did it earlier, and it's probably going to drop tomorrow. Special extra content for you. John McAfee introducing the ghost phone killer. No one could get iller. My peoples, are you with me? Where you at? In the front, in the back. GGP on attack. What? My peoples, are you with me? Where you at? In the front, in the back. Killer Bees on attack. Infidels, it's Hacker Hameen. It's GGP. It's Big Salah. We'll see if Steve Areno does the running, but he might have to lay out. He's been going so hard. Set up a whole new gym today, so you know he got those extra reps in. He's probably sitting in the sauna right now, touching himself with the muscle equalizer gun and looking at his new Mac fondly across the room. That's how he does it here on the Conspiracy Horseman. Yalla. Did I nail it all? What else did I leave out on there? What else is he probably doing right now?
Petting his cat.
Petting his cat, obviously. That's one, definitely.
Is that a euphemism, or are we?
Yeah.
No, like literally petting his cat.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Otis. Odin. And yeah, he's definitely got the massage gun out. I'm sure that's going down for sure.
Probably looking at a slice of pizza, holding a chicken wing, going fucking
No.
Horse.
He's looking at an upgrade, a Mac upgrade right now.
Every time
he's going, it could sound better on the McAfee interview. We're looking at some new mics.
Either that, or he's like calling up all those people that he used to rob people with. Yo, the jig is up. You know? McAfee knows where I live. He remembered. I robbed him.
Good stuff. I see the chat room filling up already. Justin French, that moron, first to the chat room. Troy with the bits, first out of the gate, and Black Shreds with a subscription for 17-month subscriber. Big news. I got to figure out how to do it. But El Plaja made some awesome custom Conspiracy Horseman badges.
Badges?
We
don't need no stinking
big
badges.
You didn't know that one was coming, did you? And they're very, very cool, obviously representing what we do. So I'm going to try and get those uploaded tomorrow. So appreciate all those subscribers, man. Fudge420 pretty much lives in the chat room here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Dudebud6969 getting it both ways, upside down, backwards, and sideways. And Armand, he's here. El Plaja, CERN Daddy, who let him in there? And Disco El Swayze doing his thing. Citizen Slim, I see you. We're talking about badges, Infidel, and Badgers, and couple other things as the badges change for Space Force possibly being sued by Netflix for trademark infringement for the show that should be hilarious. Like, I can go into that on this on the show Space Force. I binged it and I could not believe what I was seeing. But Trump may actually try to lose the trademark just because it's a dick thing to do with Obama's and them invested in Netflix, and they're going to pull every little thing they can to make them look stupid. It's not like Space Force is going to be a merch moneymaker. Did you guys happen to watch this series yet?
No, I've heard so much about it, and I started to, and I went, nah. I got distracted by, I don't know, there might have been a breeze, because I was just, I went to go watch, and I'm like, all right, Steve Carell should be funny. Yeah. And I literally heard that Steve Carell is not funny. You could watch a movie with Steve Carell talking about nut cancer, and it would be funnier than Space Force.
He's the straight man, so he's not doing ching jokes. Everything he does is locking away emotions as the military guy. But it's not even just Steve Carell. I mean, Malkovich made me laugh. Like, I'd say in the whole series, there's 3 big laughs, dude. Like 3. I just watched F is for Family. There was 3 laughs in 2 minutes, bro. You know, like... They have the Christopher Guest cast, like everybody who is like, you know, mid-card in a Christopher Guest film is in it. Parks and Rec, like B Squad is in it. Supporting cast.
Pretty much anybody's ever worked with Steve Carell.
Dude, they should be annihilating it, and I can't believe that cast didn't see in the middle of these scripts that there's nothing funny about this scene. We need to punch it up and do something. Malkovich is really the only one that stands out because he plays it straight as an actor in a sea of comedians, you know. So
Chick, give the man his money.
yeah, give him his money. Man, Mike Hawes giving it up with bits out of here. Appreciate you, Hawes. Definitely get you
Brother,
some of those custom badges, man.
5,000 bits, brother. We
saw Upload though. You guys saw Upload?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, Sal, that one is definitely worth your time.
I've been kind of off TV for a little bit.
I started watching What We Do in the Shadows. I binged that. That was good.
How's that? What's that about, man?
It's about vampires living in Staten Island and filming their life like a documentary. It's hilarious.
Okay.
It's initially a movie that Taika Waititi did that got him recognized in order to get.
I think I saw the movie.
Yeah, and in order to do that's what got him on the map to do Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Right, and then it got him to do Mandalorian. All this now his career is progressing, but it started with that one movie, but now they made it a TV show, and it's a half hour an episode, but it's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll definitely check that out because I'm just.
I think that's on Hulu too.
All right, I was just going back to watch Office for Family on free time while I'm eating, dinner or something because the new season of that's dropping, and Bill Burr is just a monster in comedy.
For Family,
yeah.
The first two seasons, literally the first two seasons is like, okay, replace the Irish guy with the Italian guy, and that's my father, which is hysterical because all the shit that they do kills me because stuff you remember from when you were a kid. But like, it started getting real fucking dark.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's happened to the show? And it kind of lost me. Third season, I was like,
Upload will have you pumped, dude.
I'll have to check that out too.
Just for like, let's get there, baby. Let's get there. I know you definitely would be down with it, dude.
Yeah, I haven't had binge time, so I've been trying to catch stuff in little bits. And like I said, I put Space Force. I was ready to watch it, and then I went, I can't. Got something else to do. And I wasn't upset about not being able to watch it. I just heard nothing good.
I was shocked. at how, and it'll get renewed, man. Hopefully they make a big switch for season 2 because whatever this was, the Orville is good, but it smashes this. This makes the Orville look like genius work, and that's just kind of mid card itself, So I don't know how they could miss so hard. But there's plenty of predictive programming in it, and this week I even saw what we talked about last week. Shocker that we're ahead of the curve, or the mouse footage getting passed around with NASA, and then they're doing spacewalk. Go ahead.
No, I'm still. I don't think it's a mouse. That's all I'm saying. I don't have an explanation for it. I would have no issue with it. I just don't think it's a mouse, man. I don't. I really don't.
But what it is,
because
or is it mouse or no? Does it lead you to believe that that's a phony setup shot?
Like the more I look at it, and here's the thing, and I will say this, and I don't have an explanation for this. When I watched it on TV, it did not look as fake as that. Does that make sense?
Well, not because
it did not.
That's because now you're looking at it to be fake. So subconsciously, the fan view, your fan visors are off. Now you put the goggles, the truth-seeking goggles on. So now it
looks very, very like a screen.
Yeah.
The outline, you got that outline on shit. But I'm like, we're better than that. We could do better than that. How is it not? If this is a fake, how is it not better than this?
It's not the same thing as the Tesla in space. It felt very just like that to me. Like if you
that's what he said. He says, "I can't believe we're here. Look how fake it looks. That's how you know it's real." Those were his own words. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Come on. All I know is that any animal that comes out gets caught and goes back.
So here's my question.
It ran like a rodent, whether it was a squirrel,
here's my thing.
A mouse.
I don't know. Sal had a good point with, we've seen ice on the old shuttles break off or whatever, or maybe some of that.
Ice cube on a skillet, man. It jumps and dances all over the place and will go back across itself.
I didn't see it changing and shape-shifting like that, and it just moved and looked mouse-like. Let's not say it's a mouse or anything, but what that could have been the way, but then I was looking at the cuts and I was looking at the outer engine and took my attention away just because that Tesla piece That just after that, bro, that really just feels like they could have put that rocket out there, had it the same thing. That could have been the same exact soundstage that they pulled that stunt on that they fucking did this one on.
Let me pull the. I want to throw out again the evidence thing of. Okay, it's a white mouse. Okay, white mice are only found in labs. They're not found naturally. Okay, they're not found out in the wild. One would not just be sitting in a fake spaceship on a soundstage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, why would it be a white mouse? Like, if it was a gray mouse or a brown mouse, I'd be like, oh, you motherfuckers. But a white mouse does not happen naturally. That's not a natural thing. Sure.
How do we not know that this didn't take place near a lab? Maybe NASA has white mice somewhere and it escaped.
I'm also going to say that animals don't just escape from labs. It's not aside from apparently monkeys with AIDS or whatever.
Can I add
else.
to the fuck you with this?
I saw that movie in the 80s. What was it called? SpaceX or something like that?
What was it? Weapon X or some shit?
No, Weapon X was Wolverine.
Yeah. What if this is a high-level nerd joke, and you've talked about this before when we talk about your family at CERN, where they got the shit in with the Mandela effect with the old codger who was in his office with books stacked high, and there was no reason to do that long before the Mandela effect was popular as a fuck you. And I liked your explanation, and it plays in. What sci-fi has the white mice?
Space Odyssey?
Space Odyssey and...
I don't know. I was guessing.
And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Right.
So what if this is
12
just...
monkeys.
What is if this is their own little fuck you and like their own little wink where they think it's funny and cute to put that shit out there that way, dude?
It could be, but if they were gonna do something like that, why would they?
Very risky.
Not only that, but why would they shit the bed with the landing video? Like why? Like you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna go hard with one aspect just to rib somebody. Now you're ribbing the whole world because it's fake. Why not go 100% with the other thing? Why go half-assed? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
And what we talked about the week before, because we were hot, that they did the whole thing 45 minutes before launch. They cancel it because of winds, right? We're going to launch a rocket, but because of this one little thing that we're calling. But I pointed it out. You guys, I think, agreed. That was all the opportunity to get all the B-roll footage for the inside of the cockpit and all that kind of shit. So we never knew on Saturday if that's the same footage or not, like to roll it back again. And what they plan to pull the stunt, they might have needed that big show on Wednesday to pull off the work that they were doing on Saturday.
Very plausible. Look, man, they faked people landing on the moon. They can fake a launch, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the moon landing looked good. This didn't.
How about the speed? How about the speed of how they got out of the atmosphere?
2 minutes, baby.
Wasn't that fucking Van Aldenbelt punch it crazy?
Yeah. But again, to me, I was going, wow, look at that. Look what we did. Look how fast we went. Look how much we've progressed. We got out of orbit within 2 minutes.
What would Taz say after that rocket took off? What would he say?
It's all the work, brother. It's all the fucking work, brother. Where's my cigar? My cigar.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to go with Taz on that one too then. Launch me if you can.
Televise me if I let you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. So that was one thing we didn't kind of get to follow up with McAfee earlier today. But he did quantify and solidify as he looked around the room ready for the sniper laser sight to hit him that he worked on extraterrestrial projects at Lockheed Martin in black operations in the mid 70s. So
it was 1974 and we had extraterrestrials exist.
Yeah, they exist.
He laid it out. I was enthralled. Yeah. He could have said anything. I'd have been like, "Oh shit!"
When he goes, they're gonna kill me tomorrow. Well, I don't care. Whatever.
They're gonna kill me tomorrow. But you know what? We're in hiding anyway. We're in hiding anyway. And my other like some of the shit that like people use as their colloquialism. when he says, "You could assassinate Jesus," I fucking pop. Like, who thinks that way?
No.
You could assassinate Jesus and not have that much. Okay, sure.
Oh shit! And they did. They did do it.
Well, I got a question for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you fuck a chicken?
Yeah. Can you shove a grapefruit up your pussy? Find out on
Senora of ice cream.
On the extra special McAfee Return of the Mac, the ghost phone killer is back episode. I'll have that posted tomorrow. It's on the Twitch reel now. It'll be going up on my YouTube as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I thought we'd have more live at that time, but we'll pass it around. It'll get the views. Pass that shit around like a cold. Nick Metal with the tier 1 subscription. People asking where Stevie is.
Stevie doesn't feel good. He might have pulled a muscle beating the shit out of Justin French in Madden today.
Oh shit.
I think he beat him like he owned him, and I think he might have pulled a muscle. So that's a possibility.
Tuttle's the new owner of whateverbullshit.com in the chat trying to flex it. He said if he does sell it to McAfee, he'll turn around and buy 100 Conspiracy Horsemen t-shirts to distribute. So
outstanding.
Let's hope he does. But that was
just send us the money. Don't give it to them. Give us the money.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, Tuttles?
Come on.
$20. What is it? $20 a t-shirt, right?
I think he even registered for free because I'll stooge him off. His brother works for a known internet company. I think he just had to text him, and it was done like that, dude. Like I tried to do it through Squarespace after we got off, and it was already registered. So good rib. But yeah, man, we had a good time, and we will tonight too. I was pretty busy doing production, and I know NFO had a big show this week. Episode 66. So I know you've been busy, GGP, but you were definitely on it when it comes to the George Floyd information that was coming in, whether it was propaganda videos, QAnon stuff, tweets that we're getting tagged in by Larry and it's Swamp, just letting us know, hey, take a look at this, and things just start stacking up in a Conspiracy Horseman. Here we are again, Sandy Hook, whether it's Parkland or Las Vegas kind of way where we have to look at it through Wolfgang lenses unemotionally. But now everything has happened, so it's kind of hindsight at this point. But I'm going to pass the mic to you, man, and start to let you lay it out here, and we'll punch it up.
Well, good stuff. And actually, shout out to Larry Engner because he also sent us a link last night. I got a chance to watch it. I was watching the first 5 minutes and I had to cut it off.
Yeah.
But a good documentary on Bill Gates that I want to venture down tonight. But, there was some kind of rabbit hole going. Some guy posted saying, would you believe me if I told you that George Floyd is still alive or wasn't killed or whatever the case may be? So I said, let's see what these people, quote unquote people, have to say. Because now all of a sudden everyone's a conspiracy theorist and everyone's making these allegations, and now it just makes everyone look stupid because everybody's a conspiracy theorist and no one's a conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So went down the rabbit hole. Unfortunately, I forgot to, tie my safety harness on, and I fell down that rabbit hole pretty hard because I was like, whoop, let me send it to the boys. Whoop, let me send it to the boys.
That's fine. I love that.
Boys. Well, that's because I figured if one of us are gonna waste our time down this rabbit hole, let's not make it all four.
Dude, I figure we're all like Wu-Tang. We're all generals, man, when it comes to this shit. And when somebody gets on a trail, that's the fucking front you got to battle on, and you're going to become an expert to educate the rest of us, and we're there to back you up if reinforcements are needed.
Here's the deal. Now, there's a lot of speculation going on now. Here's the deal. They're saying that the coffin couldn't fit a 6'6" frame.
Right.
And it was weird that he was buried in such a small coffin, yet he's 6'6", and he has a twin brother that looks exactly like him, identical. And then that's why they brought at the funeral was wearing a hoodie with the glasses, to cover up the tats on the neck and all this nonsense. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just reiterating what these people were saying. And then they were saying that they're both Masons, and that this scenario that went down was basically a payback or a hit because the club that he works at, this whatever, El Pollo Loco, whatever the name of the club is called, with the cop, for the last 17 years they've been working there together.
Did you hear 17? I heard 13. I mean,
whatever.
It's moot. Like
10 plus, whatever.
Yeah.
And that the fact that they've been working there, 12, 13, 17, 100 years, who knows, for a long time, that they didn't like each other, and that the place is actually a front. And it's a front because the people who own the club.
Let me punch this in here. I saw the promo of the lady who is the manager, the Adriana, that her mob husband makes her the manager of the club, and she puts it over that one worked inside, one worked outside. They never knew each other. I didn't know they were both even here trying to play dumb. Dude, I don't give a fuck. If you're on WWE for 13 years, you know the truck drivers, the ring crew, the catering people, the makeup people.
Well, not only that,
you know
if you work security, and Sal can attest, know exactly who's on your
in
side.
That building.
Yeah.
You know who is in that building. You know who washes the dishes. You know who changes the outlets. You know everything about the people.
So when she said that shit right there, I was like, bull fucking shit. We're off the races, man. We're off to the races. Go ahead, GGP.
Allegedly, the front is that this place is a counterfeiting business, money laundering. Right. Supposedly, they have child trafficking going through. Who knows? Right? Just a laundry list of allegations.
It's a nightclub. There's coke. There's X. There's fucking whatever
all
moving
that
through
stuff.
there.
But here's the deal: the counterfeiting. He got busted for trying to pass a $20 counterfeit. But the way it went down, from what I'm hearing, hot tag. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he stood around. The guy at the cashier told him this is a fake fucking bill, and he was like, "Oh, I'm calling the cops." Okay, and he hung around. He was there. Like another 5, 6, 7 minutes later. If I just passed a hot bill and I got fucking busted for it, I'm not gonna stick around.
Exactly.
So he was hanging out in the front of the store like nothing happened. And the cop showed up, and obviously if the cop knew him, obviously there's gonna be like, hey, this 6 foot dude, blah blah blah, that's him. Oh yeah, I know him out front. Come on, man. It doesn't make sense. And again, we fall back into who are you going to believe? What are you going to believe? Because now they said, well, he had amphetamines, he had fentanyl in his system, he had coronavirus, and none of the wounds, nothing caused him to die. The knee on his neck didn't cause him to die. So that being
said, where did that come from? I didn't hear that.
They said that he had cardiopulmonary issues, and due to the
heart attack because he was on meth,
due to the jostling and obviously there was a physical activity, but the knees on his neck did not kill him. Now, that being said, in this day and age, in the climate, I hate using that word, in the social climate of today, you say that, you might as well just spray paint a swastika on your fucking shirt. Just put the little mustache on yourself, hold your hand up, because people are going to swarm you like you are the fucking next coming of the Antichrist. Because if you offer any sort of police didn't kill him idea, you are now the enemy. Because that is the current, let's do this.
But
moment.
now,
That's the current
here was that great video with the dude with the markers. I thought did a great presentation to keep it simple, stupid. So he sets up a row of markers, 3 markers. It's MSNBC, CNN, and Fox.
That dude
then
was good.
4 black markers to represent Black Lives Matter. Then on the other side of them is Antifa, George Soros, the Clinton Foundation. Which are backing Black Lives Matter and with Antifa backing to use that movement that's funded by Soros. However, Soros and them also own all of the fucking media. So it controls both sides of the situation and takes that and just pushes their agenda. So whatever this was in the beginning, a money laundering hit because this guy was ready to go down and doing stupid shit, and
didn't skimming off the top.
Stacks didn't get rid of the car in time, and that's why he had to go. Like that's what this feels like to me, almost exactly out of Goodfellas, bro. Almost exactly.
I said this was a cop who was getting some extra points in. Now, this cop had reports against him from other cops about being a little too over-aggressive and zealous and this whole other bullshit, whatever you want to call it. Any way you want to call it, it's not going to come out right. You're going to be awful. But he had other reports against him. He's had people complain about him, other cops complain about him. So this happening adds up. That fits so perfect into this whole thing, because a cop like that is the guy who is easily probably bought off. He's the guy who is probably doing deals for people. Yeah. He's the guy who probably is the muscle.
Well, the other part was that the supposedly the mayor's in on it. You know what I mean? Of the human trafficking, and then they burned down the police station where. You know
all the evidence lies,
all that shit where the computer, the fucking,
and the nightclub coincidentally got burnt down in the riots too.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. I worked at a nightclub and in the circa area of 92, 93, and it was in New Jersey, and we had a police officer on the payroll. We had one official police officer that was paid by the police department to be there. The other officer was paid by the owner, okay? And the owner didn't, again, without getting into it, the owner did not have this police officer on his payroll of payout money at the end of the night. So somebody else was paying for this officer. That officer, who was not on the books, was as crooked as the day is long. So when I see this fits every single angle of this kind of shit going on, where you have a cop who's probably working for somebody else on his nights off at a club. And when I say somebody else, I don't mean the club owner. So, because we never had any problems, all of our problems went away after we had these cops on the payroll.
Well, here's the deal. Now, more stuff also came up on top of what we just mentioned, which is, this is why we don't know if it's in misinformation, disinformation. We don't know what's going on. But allegedly, and here we go, people are jumping on this narrative that the people who came out of the EMTs that came out dressed as cops with bulletproof vests and they were really officers, which is not the case. Because if you do your research like I did, I went on Google and typed in EMT uniform from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that's the exact uniform that they're supposed to wear, that brown on brown cop looking type uniform. Just because EMTs in your state don't dress like that doesn't mean they all wear the same uniform across the states. I mean, even cop uniforms are different from state to state. But regardless, the one fact, now people are saying he's not dead. He died 3 years ago. His one of his lawyers came out from back in the day, said he's dead. One of the college people that he faced in, that he used to play college football with, said he died 3 years ago in Texas, and that this wasn't the real George Floyd, and that there was just an actor or someone they used, and because he's already dead, they can't prove that he's alive because he's already dead, and all this mumbo jumbo. Now, who knows what's true? Who knows what's not true? But I'll tell you something that is true. One, the way they handled the body as they were trying to put him on the stretcher, I've never seen an EMT that sloppy before a day in my life. They didn't check for a pulse. They didn't give him any mouth-to-mouth. They didn't give him any CPR. They didn't give him chest compressions. They didn't even put him in neck harness. They just threw him over like a sack of potatoes. So that's what's one weird fact. Second weird fact was the fact that, you know, the way everybody in that situation, they're saying, was around, no one did anything. None of the other cops, no one protesting or yelling at the cops. No one tried to stop the guy from killing the guy. You know what I mean? Now, if you see something going down, would you risk to save another person's life? Would you risk trying to interfere, saying, hey, man, you're killing the guy, stop, or something to that extent? Who knows? I guess you have to be in the moment to realize what you're going to really do. But that's neither here or there. But the one thing that's factual, and this is stone cold hard facts, June 2nd, Hillary Rodham Clinton is in court to appeal her case with the emails. She got found guilty. She has to testify in September. Watch something go down in September. Mark my words. The next day, the 3rd of June, Rosenstein comes out and testifies that everything about the Russian Gate scenario with the dossier, Peter Steele, all that stuff was all fake, just to get at Trump. And the following day after that, the 5th, they went to court to try to subpoena all the people in Barack Obama's cabinet for Obamagate because of all the wiretaps they put in Trump's buildings and surveillance during 2016, 2015, right before the election, which is obviously illegal. And this supposedly goes all the way up the ladder to Obama, allegedly. Now, none of that made the media. All that was pushed under the rug because, let's face it, nobody wants this guy to win in 2020. The Pissgate didn't work. The porn star thing didn't work. The Russian Gate didn't work. The impeachment didn't work. Nothing they try to hit with this guy with stuck. So what are they going to do? They're going to crash the economy. The only thing that was in his favor, because the stock market was booming, the economy was doing well, unemployment was low, and they're going to try to mess everything up. And on top of that, they're going to put a race war at his feet and say this guy doesn't know what he's doing and he's not controlling the situation properly because he's an imbecile. Well, case in point, instead of being the virtuous leader that he claims to be, he comes out and puts his foot in his mouth every time. So he doesn't help his cause to try to say, hey, guys, wake up. Look what's going on over here. He just says what he says and waddles his way away back into his bunker in the White House. So to me, they're all on the same side. It's all nonsense. It's all theater and it's all nonsense. That's just my opinion.
Let's talk about a couple of things that have been blowing up that I have questions about that I don't really understand yet because I haven't taken a look at it. Supposedly there's something with a tattoo on his chest. An eagle. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. And then there was also something with the lines on the road painted in the picture where this guy's got the knee on his neck, and then a reverse angle of where it supposedly happened. There are no lines on the road, like a couple different things that stick out photo-wise. There's the numerology thing. They were right across the street. In the background's the number 33 and, you know, all this kind of shit. Andy was a Mason. You know, like there's interesting little what ifs, what happens here.
There was one with a cell phone. One cop had a cell phone or a radio in his hand, and the other picture at the same time he didn't. So, again, these are those things that are going to needle around. They're going to roll around in the conspiracy world for years, and they'll always be the subject that people. You know what? 10 years from now, when another group of idiots are doing a podcast, and they're going, one controversial thing we looked up was this, and it'll be the same things because here's the deal, man. I don't think anybody's going to harsh run, and they're not going to push to get answers on this.
No, of course not. You got to tiptoe away. You're on like you're a greenie
right.
in the WWE locker room. You don't want to step on
again because like I said, if you come out and if I had a piece of paper from the coroner that said he died of a heart attack and he had a bad liver, and I found stage 11 cancer in his guts, and I have the paper to prove it, nobody believed me. Everybody would go, oh, you're just a white guy. You're a white guy who doesn't like black people. You're against BLM. You're a pro-cop and a Nazi. It's all the same shit. Nobody, no matter what you tell them, you're not going to get people to figure it out.
This wasn't a race issue. This wasn't a black or white issue until the media.
No, but it is now.
Well,
it is now. Yeah,
by design. This is another clip that's not about this, but you sent it. I'm going to play it.
Hold on. Let me just play one more bullet point.
Please.
Supposedly on the 17th of May, the Obama Foundation Twitter page said, "This is America," with a picture, a poster, some guy holding up a poster.
All right, so I'm going to debunk this.
Oh, it was debunked?
Well, I went through the thread and I saw it. So that people are like, how do they have a picture of Floyd a week before on their website because of an article and whatnot? So the way Twitter works, if you're a webmaster, what have you, and you write a blog or an article and then you go back in and update that thumbnail later, like the week later, it will update the old stories in the timeline, even though there's timestamp that way. Like when you refresh, it won't have the old thumbnail. So somebody went in and looked at the old source code, the HTML source code. HTML, anybody? Class?
Greatest intercontinental champion of all time.
Hypertext markup language. And like they showed when you drag like a picture off Facebook to your desktop, it's like HX127898613, like some crazy shit. And then it showed the new source code and it said, George Floyd, .jpeg. So they swapped out that original picture of whatever it was in the blog before, but the timestamp will look the same. If you didn't look through the source code, no.
See, I can't even edit my tweets. If I make a mistake on my tweets for my spelling, I gotta delete it and start
It's not that. It's not that. It's the fact that the Obama Foundation link where they had the blog and WordPress or whatever, they went back in that week's timeline and updated the photo on their blog. So when you hit refresh on Twitter and that's in your timeline, the new thumbnail.
I got it because it's pulled from the same source.
Yes.
Got it. Well, look, I'm not saying this is all true. We're just listing what has been said. Personally, unfortunately, I think he really was killed, and It is a messed up situation, and those people who are protesting, in my opinion, and you guys don't have to agree, have every right to protest, and I'm behind them 100%. But those who are rioting and causing trouble and anarchy and burning down buildings and throwing bricks that were coincidentally supplemented to the rioters hours beforehand, left on pallets, coincidentally, those aren't the riot. Those aren't the protesters. Those guys are paid Antifa people who are there to cause trouble because they're getting paid $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour to do so.
Well, the new Project Veritas videos are out. They're not nearly as strong as some of their other work, but but it's tough to infiltrate. I'm not, it's not like they're getting what they can to do what they can here. But
this just goes to show you that 21 Jump Street was a farce, because no matter how many high schools were out there.
I want to also point out something.
And then Richard Grieco shows up. They're not high school students, and Johnny Depp and Dom DeLuise. Come on, man.
He wasn't even Grieco. He was just
I would have popped if it was Dom DeLuise. That'd be great. Dom DeLuise is a teenager. So here's the thing. So they apparently now, because they labeled Antifa as a terrorist organization.
Is it official?
Well, so this is what they were doing. That's the angle they were pushing. Okay, and the left turned around and went, well, actually, I'm not going to say the left. I'm going to say the other crybabies, not the left. The crybabies went, well, then we're going to make the KKK a terrorist organization. Okay, who gives a fuck? Here's my point. The FBI has infiltrated the KKK how many times? For how many years? There are still probably some CIA agents in the KKK right now who are just fucking sitting there. The KKK is a glorified fucking beer and gun club. Okay, the KKK are running around and doing nothing.
That's not true.
No, hold on, dude. Seriously.
Come on, dude. Not true.
Stop it. Listen to me for a minute. Pull it back. Okay, 60s, 70s. They were killing people. They were hanging people. They were burning houses. They were destroying.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're at the same level. Okay.
So we're talking about 2020. These fucking rubes are doing nothing. So they're holding protests. Okay, they're getting licenses for protests to walk down a street just so they can call somebody the N-word to their face and go, "I have the right to do it. I'm allowed to do it." They're fucking idiots. They are no threat anymore. They have been, put it this way, all of their leaders have been singled out. All of their leaders have been recorded. All of their leaders have been documented. They know if these guys fart in church, okay? You can't say the same thing about Antifa. You don't know who the leaders are. A lot of rumors, but you can't peg someone. And you mean to tell me that the FBI and the CIA, they can't infiltrate these people like they've done to this fucking
Black Panthers,
KKK.
they've done it to everybody.
The Black Panthers, they've done it to all of them.
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X,
they tapped all these dudes and they infiltrated all of it. So now you're going to tell me that they can't do it now, and people are like, "Oh, we want to get rid of the KKK." Go ahead, get rid of them. All you're going to do is give them more strength now, because how many kids are running to join the KKK? The minute you bring this shit up, you're going to drive kids right to it. These are the same idiots who wanted to go join ISIS, who lived in the United States. Oh, my parents.
Well, that was also a lot of that shit was fucking CIA fucking bullshit too. So the kids who are definitely could be the phony ways in. But GGP, I just wanted to show this. It's going to be like a 3-minute clip, but I thought this was kind of crazy as relates to what you were talking about with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Here's Judge Joe Brown talking about the whole Bush and Obama connection here. So we'll try and get it right.
Last one, number 44, and the one before that, 43, Bush and Obama. Well, there are pictures of Bush with his arm around 8-year-old Barack Obama because his stepdaddy, adopted daddy, Lolo Sotoro, had done a lifetime worth of business with the Bushes. Uncle George Herbert Walker, after whom George Herbert Walker Bush, Bush 1 president, was named, founded Halliburton in 1946 in Oklahoma. And Lolo Sotoro had been international executive vice president for Standard Oil.
There was talk of him being a CIA asset.
Well, yeah, see, he ran the death squads for the Indonesian army. On his own call, anyone could be assassinated. So when George Herbert Walker Bush became head of the CIA under the Ford administration, he just got with his old buddy in the oil business, Lolo Sotoro, and pulled off the hits. See, Barack's grandmother has been acknowledged as being the woman that operated the channels through which CIA money went to the Southwest Pacific. So she introduced her daughter, who had just had Barry, Barack, to Lolo Sotoro, and they got married, and Lolo Sotoro adopted Barack Obama. The name was changed to Barry Sotoro. Mm-hmm. Now, when he went to high school in Hawaii, I know about that high school. I almost sent my oldest son to it. I could afford it, but I didn't think he deserved it. Pop. 20 years ago, the tuition was $95,000 a year, not including room and board. When Obama went there, I've talked to two of his classmates. They independently state that the tuition, not including room and board, was $45,000. Now, Business Insider reports his income for 2017 at over $200 million net. That's after taxes, deductions, write-offs. Mm-hmm. For this last year, 2018, they reported it as $570+ million. And that's after all deductions, tax, right? Trump doesn't make that net. I mean, even some of the richest people in America don't make that. Why? Because when his stepdaddy died, he was one of the 10, 15 richest men on earth. And he left everything in a trust fund operated out of Indonesia, so the American government can't touch it. That makes Barack Obama 1/3 beneficiary for the assets of one of the 10, 15 richest men on earth. See, so we got a game run on us. So, you know that little thing that Bush W does when he gets with Michelle, they giggle and he gives her candy. The inside thing, is that supposed to be the same kind of candy he used to give to her husband when he was 6, 7, 8 years old?
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Pretty fucking strong, bro, from Judge Joe Brown, baby. Brown. Fucking, there's the late. I love that as these fucking legends get older, that they just are willing to fucking lay down. Here's what really goes down, and they'll bury somebody like that, dude. You want to talk about being raised as a CIA op and to be president, bro? And now what's going on possibly in September, it's going to be our job to stay alive and make sure that light is shined on them going into it with full questions, that everybody's got the hashtags going, because you know they're going to pull off some next 9/11 fucking misdirection spot just like they did with this. But now we got them fucking tits in a bear trap. So now we should do everything we can to build to that point to fucking sweep the leg, Johnny, on them all.
Super leg. I love it. Tremendous.
How many people got in the chat room?
We got 49 right now. I know it's a little hot in there with Mr. Homeboy 88, who sometimes can have great points, but right now, as everybody can. But we're here to look at just the information that comes into us from our reporters and objectively,
homeboy,
man.
Stay in your lane and go sell your oranges.
I know stop it. They're like it's easy to take fucking locker room shots, but it's not like anybody's trying to fucking push an agenda, white, black, whatever. We don't believe.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the running joke on the NFL.
Oh,
he's one of our top emailers.
Oh, is he? All right.
And he's witty as fuck. So we sent him a free T-shirt, and the running joke is that he sells oranges on the freeway in LA.
Oh well, I mean then please send us some. I'd like some delicious oranges as well. And if not, you want to keep shooting, look at The Godfather and the oranges scene. I'll be happy to clap back and put you down Corleone style if need be. So that GGP, I gotta applaud you, man, because you really put in the hours this week of looking at this, of everything that was coming into us. And there's some things that are very interesting too. The mug shot of him versus the side shot of him as the cop, where we're really looking at ears.
No offense, I'm not trying to cut you off. I apologize again.
No,
it's just that one, the all right, when we break things down, we're not trying to find things like the lighting on the moon landing or whatever the case. We're looking at like Wolfgang did with Sandy Hook from a logistical, analytical point of
Paperwork.
view.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. We're using what we know and we're using the rules to try to find what went down. So the fact that they moved this person like a sack of potatoes, I've never met an EMT in my life at a wrestling show, at an event, or even if someone gets shot, they don't just push the guy on the gurney like he's a sack of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what went down. Whether he's alive or dead, they still carry the body with professionalism and with courtesy and with respect. They shoved him over like he was nothing. So that's the first thing, right? That's the first.
You know,
red
I was
flag.
really expecting to. I was like, here it comes. I was surprised Becky Lynch didn't run in, punch out the ambulance drivers, and take off herself like she did on Raw and drive to the hospital. I thought that was coming.
Well, whatever. She's craving pickles and ice cream now, so it is what it is.
Well, how about this, just to throw them under the bus, and maybe I don't understand it, is that they put on their workout today for Big Floyd. It's hashtag Big Floyd for the social media thing. They did the Big Floyd workout. 4 white people with their shirts off doing a burpee fucking challenge thing named after him. I was like, dude, just lay out.
Lame.
Just
well, there's
lay
another thing
out,
that pisses
bro.
me off, and I don't care if I catch heat regarding this. People making people getting on their knees and apologizing for white privilege. There's no such
Fucking
thing
ridiculous.
there's no such thing as white privilege. If there was white privilege, we'd be living in mansions.
Well, I'll tell you right now, for some of the shows that are just absolutely rotten that he's been turning in lately, Billy Ray Valentine can get on his knees and apologize to all of us right now, make himself humble in the eyes of the Horsemen.
Well, listen, when he's done doing David Icke's laundry, when are we going to get him on the show?
Billy
I'm
Ray.
sorry, guys. Listen, I'll kneel down and I'll pay my dues just like that lady did when that guy from Black Lives Matter told him to do so. Absolutely.
What,
100%.
Seth and Skyler, wasn't it Seth and Skyler who kissed feet? Kissed that cat's feet?
Bow down when we come to your town. Bow down when we're West Coast
bow
bound.
down.
Bow down. Like we need a best of clip that way. But hey, buddy, thanks for jumping on. Stevie not feeling too well, but I was glad to see you in the chat room that way, so I knew I could get a message to you sooner or later. Am I froze?
There's a lot of background noise, so I'll be muting up. I'm grilling some chicken. But I do want to say, I think you guys are doing a freaking excellent job at representing this, and I mean, at representing the right side of this, because people are getting sucked in on different sides, either the left or the right. You guys aren't playing around with that. You guys are just calling it right down the middle, and I think that's the way it should be presented. I think all this nonsense that's going around, I think Pop hit it right on the head, man. I think, damn, that was ridiculously excellent analysis, man. I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing and listening to that, and I'm like, man, he's got it. He's got the pulse of it. He's listening to it. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
This whole George Floyd nonsense, you know, I mean, meaning that he's not dead and all this other stuff, man. We need to be very, very careful from diving into those waters. In my opinion, very careful.
Just to clear, let's clear it up. We're not saying the conspiracy horsemen, myself, Stevie, Big Sal. No, I'm just throwing it out there so people know. And Ben are saying that it's a fake death. We were stating all these theories and quote unquote bullet points that people are talking about and things that are allegedly fake and real or whatever concerning this matter. I said it just now, and I know the boys said it last episode too. This situation was a dreadful situation that should have never happened. And it is an unfortunate situation, and it wasn't black or white. It was just an abuse of power. And the guy, in my opinion, did die. Whether he died of what Sal says or he died of asphyxiation, or whatever the case may be, the guy still died.
But then why now with the casket? Why with the 5'6" casket? Why do we always have to have these questions, you know, afterwards, man?
Maybe they're trolling us. Maybe the conspiracy theory within itself is the actual conspiracy theory.
But that just shows that there is a conspiracy instead of the simple fact that a black guy was killed by a cop. Can't we just have a simple old race killing without all the extra conspiracy attached to it? Like every fucking time it's some extra shit with it, man. You know?
At the end of the day, I feel for his family, his friends, his loved ones, whatever.
Yeah.
This shouldn't have happened. Whether the guy was black, white, green, yellow, purple, brown, does not matter. When you're an officer and you take your oath and you're working for the law, you're not above the law. You know, no one knows why Bobby Lupo, you know, no one knows where Bobby Lupo is, you know?
I was just, you motherfucker. I was just,
no one knows why he did Richie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Well, they're talking in the chat room now. They're excited about Infinite Fringe that you've got Bishop Gators on coming on. You want to give us a little preview of that, Billy Ray?
Yeah. You guys want them? I'll feed them to you.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
if you guys are familiar with Bishop Gators, but you guys could have them. I think you guys will have a hell of a conversation, to be honest. Bishop Gators is a good dude. No, Pop, let me tell you, I'm 100% with you. I'm exactly what you said is why I thought you guys did an excellent job, all three of you, breaking it down. You guys didn't present it as fact. You're like, here's the deal. Here are the theories that are going around. Here's what we believe. Make up your own mind about it. But, you know, I think it was just done very well. We don't get that nowadays. Nowadays, people are just siding with whatever. They're just like, okay, it's a hoax. Everything is a hoax as a result. There is a conspiracy theory here. There is a conspiracy, I should say, here with this entire situation, without a doubt. But let's not go as far as to say that these people didn't die. I mean, to say they're crisis actors and all this other stuff. Why? Let's try to think about why they would go through the trouble of setting something like that up. You know, why? Instead of just killing somebody and capitalizing on the situation, which is what I feel they did. You know,
Absolutely.
And then
I could be very wrong.
And then, you know, like I've been watching a little bit, and this has kind of shaped some of my, going back to my improv stuff. I shared this with Stevie. It was Keegan Michael Key in the Off the Camera series, and he's talking about improv and how a scene develops as you start looking at somebody, and then you really back into the scene. I don't know where we are. Oh, it feels like we're in an office. Okay, this is the office scene, and then who am I? And the relationship develops. So as I started moving backwards from that, once we get past even the actual race and aggression stuff that echoes Rodney King for years and years and years, you know, put in anybody you want, all the way as you widen the scope of the vision of it all, then you have Hillary Clinton and then the subpoena behind it all. Like the wide scope of it is just nothing but a facade. You know, they've made a race war and a fake disease a facade to hide behind, to push their one world agenda, do the Eric Holder brainwash them about guns every day thing. Now we're at Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd with no straps. You know, like this is where we are. Gone with the Wind banned today because of racial issues. I kind of want to talk to you guys about this thing at Second City if you got time to hear it real quick. I'll find it, but we'll go around the horn real quick, man, of that they're using this, whether it's an inside job over counterfeit money and one guy whacking out another for some Minneapolis inside dirty politics. They've obviously taken it way, way farther than what it was intended originally. Go ahead.
That's because you never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
They saw the situation at hand, and they said, hey, we can make this work for us in our advantage. And when I say they, I'm talking about the globalists, the elite bankers, the people under the thumb of George Soros, the Hillary Clintons, the Obama Foundation. All these people are connected. If you don't believe me, look at the people who their offsprings are married to.
We just showed you the Bushes and the fucking Obamas.
Well, yeah, that's just 1 degree. The Clinton's daughter, that hideous looking girl, sorry, but she is, right? She's married to George Soros' nephew or son, whatever the case may be. And I had like Nancy Pelosi, she's the nephew of Hitler, allegedly. This is all stuff that I had it just in front of me and I just lost it. So I apologize for being unprofessional, but I'll try to find this where we had it. But there's always a degree of separation between this one and that one. And the agenda is all the same. It's all the same. They want to control the entire population. And everyone's falling at the waysides because everyone's being a puppet. They're being manipulated. They're not taking this. Because if you really get rid of the Antifa punks, those skinny twerps who weigh 110 pounds and think they can gouge an eye out. Meanwhile, they all fall like a tree going timber with one shot to the jaw. Right? All these little freaking, twinks with their bandanas on.
Hey, leave Mr. Homeboy out of this.
They all tough, right? They all tough till they get punched in the throat. But regardless of all that, you take out the Antifa, you take out the rioters who are paid to be there.
Yep.
Okay. The majority of the people in this planet, in this world, are all compassionate. They all love each other. They don't want drama for their children. Agreed. They don't want an environment with racism. Racism is taught. And how is it taught? It's taught through the systems that are put in place, like the educational system, the media outlets, the entertainment industry. You think it's a coincidence that gangster rap became so influential in the 90s? Well, we had people tell us that record producers were all put in one room and told for a specific reason, you need to put out music saying this, that, and the other. You don't realize that the 80s rap, which was the golden age of hip-hop, so much different than the 90s as far as its texture and the message that they were giving. In the 80s, they're all talking about peace, love, and unity, and breakdancing, and just partying and having a good time. In the 90s, they did a 180, and it was all about drugs. It's all about guns and violence and being materialistic. I mean, the music was great. Don't get me wrong, being a hip-hop mark that I am. But let's face facts. People will turn on the TV. That's what they see. That's what they're getting indoctrinated to believe, that everyone of color is going to be a gangster or a pants sagging off their ass with an Uzi or a Glock. And I better watch and walk on the other side of the street. But that's done intentionally through the people sitting on the 1% on top of the pyramid, because as we fight for the crumbs and fight with each other over nothing but bullshit, whether it's gender, race, social class, economic class, whatever, these people are robbing us blind. They're robbing us blind. We're fighting for the crumbs and they're running away from the pie. I've said this week in and week out on the show, and people don't realize that. They don't want to realize that. They don't want to realize that they've been hoodwinked, bamboozled for so long, and realize that they are the ones who are stupid. And they are the ones who need to wake up and realize, guess what? 90% of the people on this planet just want to get along and just want to do what's right for their family. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, yellow, brown, whatever.
They are counting on the divisiveness, social media, mainstream media, all that divisiveness. So, what you said, dead on 100%. You can pull out probably 80, 90% of these people, anybody off the street, and ask them, hey, let me ask you questions. How do you feel about this? And everybody go, oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And then the minute you bring up a keyword, you bring up something. Say, well, what about these protesters? And they go, oh, well, what about that officer who was killed? Now they're on the defense. Now we've automatically stopped listening, and we've started to defend our thought.
Oh, well, that dude who fucking cut the promo was asking for it, dude, in New York City. They'll treat us like animals, treat us with respect. Like, you're just waiting for the supercut of fucking police brutality. Like, the way people chop that up into propaganda, right. I got to give them so much props. That was money, bro. Money.
Yeah, again.
He wasn't wrong.
He's not wrong, and that's the thing.
It doesn't matter. What's wrong is that they have a whole PR department. They have a whole PR department, and they didn't fucking stop that, bro. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea.
You've just encapsulated this whole thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what these people's emotions are. It does. Let me ask you a question, and I want to post this out to everybody, even the fucking smooth brains in the chat room. I want you to think about this every day. Okay, I want you to think about the people who turned around and said, I'm going to get up this morning. I'm a cop. I've been a cop for 10 years. I want to get up in the morning. And now all of a sudden, everyone hates you. Okay. Everyone thinks you are the bad guy. Okay. And you've never done a fucking thing in your life. You've never been, you know what, Mr. Homeboy, go fuck yourself. Go kill yourself right now. Please just go drink bleach and shut the fuck up. So the rest of what I'm saying is, think about these people who've given their life to protect us and serve their community. People who has never had the problem. They've never had a problem. They've never done anything against race. They've never done anything against, they're just being cops. Now they've woken up and they are public enemy number one. Okay. And then you watch.
They didn't police their own locker room. That's number one, bro. That's heat by association.
Okay, time out. So I'm going to throw this out. I'm going to simplify this on 1,000 levels and go, how many times have you watched somebody higher up than you in OVW do drugs? And you never said, hey, bro, that's not good. Don't do it.
Oh, I was like, hey, bro, what do you got?
Right. The point is, we had, and I fall into the category. I've seen shit and I've kept my mouth shut because you're in. And if you want to really romanticize it,
You were the one taking pictures of Balls Mahoney's funeral of his fucking boots.
Yes, absolutely. His leather jacket draped over his leather boots and people touching them like he was a messiah because I thought it was ridiculous. But this is what I'm saying. That's not illegal. It's weird, but it's not illegal. I'm saying, I'm saying, what about that? How many times have us as people in the business, we've kept our mouth shut because we said, oh, we got to stay small, we'll stay in the locker room. We see bad shit going on. We didn't say anything. It happens. And I'm not going to say I've never done it, but now multiply that, put that on the cop scale, dude. Put it on the cop scale and now say this asshole who we know is fucking, I'm sure on fucking who's crooked and all this other bullshit. We're watching him do this and we're like, hey, maybe he's got this. Hey guys, I'm going in to get the money that this motherfucker owes me. And then he dies. Oh shit. Bad. It's a bad thing, man. This guy was a bad cop. He's a bad fucking cop. And I'm not defending him in any fucking way. The fact that they've made this into a white cop on a black guy, it's completely bullshit. And the fact that, you know what, he died and it sucks. And I don't have anything to say aside from my grievance for his family. But the point is, they've made this into something, and we've all discussed this. We've all said it over and over and over. They made this into something awful. This is something so much worse. And now all the panderers, all the little pussies, all the little motherfuckers who are going to jump on this, and I'm on the right side. I'm with you guys.
Wow.
I'm with everybody.
Let me stop right here and go into this, because this is, I don't want to choose sides because I have friends who have signed this letter, or not friends, but people I respect and people I came up with. So let me preface this with, because I don't want to forget it later. What was it? One of the deadliest days in Chicago history on Sunday, 18 killed or over the weekend, like 18 murdered, and I think 16 were black. Okay. This was released through the improv community. It's a letter signed by 18 Second City African-American alumni, okay? After meeting with several black alums and current Second City employees, we've come to the conclusion that the erasure, racial discrimination, manipulation, pay inequality, tokenism, monetization of black culture, and trauma-inducing experiences of black artists at the Second City will no longer be tolerated. We cannot and will not let this abuse continue. As the artists whose names, images, and written materials you still profit off of, we demand change. After careful review of the history of black artists at the Second City, we call for the following: a thorough investigation and removal of teachers, producers, directors, and other administrative staff guilty of microaggressions, racial transgressions, cultural appropriation, mental and verbal abuse against black artists who built your stages. A thorough investigation, organization-wide, and immediate removal of anyone guilty of sexual misconduct or sexual assault. A revision of proper accreditation, regardless of alumni standing, of the contributions of the black artists who built your stages. That's a weird phrase to me, built your stages. Please contact us to provide you with the names and contact information of the victims to help you in your investigation. So they're ready to stooge and whatever. While acknowledging our brother Anthony LeBlanc's new role as the first black executive producer of Second City, which I support wholeheartedly. He started the same week in Chicago I did, and he's a super smart dude. The task he has been charged with is no more the integration into a burning house. While you use him to sort out the mess of decades in the making, we'll also guide you in moving forward. We demand the following: hiring of an outside independent HR firm, hiring of an outside BIPOC-owned diversity and inclusion firm, hiring of a biopic executive producer by steering committee with representatives of the biopic LGBTIA plus community, so they've even changed that, from the student body. As Black alumni and current employees, we feel it our responsibility to try and keep our brothers and sisters safe. You use our names to market your business. However, we cannot, in good conscience, recommend the Second City as an effective place for Black comedy to thrive. We understand you may need time to implement these changes. We look forward to hearing from you within the next 72 hours. Signed by 18 comedians. I got this off Amber Ruffin, who I have a lot of respect for too, who's the lead writer on Seth Meyers' show, and also now has her own NBC contract, along with plenty of others. Dude, I've never witnessed, it was mainly white bread to like probably 80-90%. But it's weird to me how they can justify it. And I need to dig deeper into this with, you just see all of the white actors I know putting it all over to like be as, open about it as they can. So, okay. But these are people who have gigs at the top shows, and they're acting like they didn't get that because they came through Second City and now have that brand on them. That's like going through OVW and saying I'm one of the best wrestlers in Wrestling Minds because I went to the college that's the best for it. But now they want to turn around like it was some thing that they built off their sweat and their brow, when really Harold Ramis to Bill Murray to Chris Farley, you're getting the shine from their legacy to get the spots.
I can't say that word anymore.
Well, sorry. You're getting the, afterglow of their legacy to make you credible that you came across those same stages, but now they're demanding affirmative action positions from people who don't know about comedy to run comedy. And this is the strange segregation that I think is going to happen, because when we see, defund the police, this money's got to go to, more diversity programs. And look at this, company just gave $20 million to a random diversity program. Where's that money going? And watch these universities line up to get millions upon probably billions in tax dollars to expand a diversity program, which is really just going to be another official money grab. And it really does worse when you put somebody who doesn't have the seasoning in a place because of race, because they need a leg up, because of whatever system works against them. All that does is breed more animosity, not diversity to get past something. It does the exact opposite. And I can't understand why people who think they're so open-minded to this see the path that they're leading down is more of a segregation and push away to destroy the thing that they loved. They just have if they're really worried about Black community, where are these people who are on Veep, who signed this from HBO, who have NBC contracts? Where are they on fucking 62nd Street down Southside Chicago to 134th, where this shit is going on every weekend? If they really care about their people, it's not about equity at a theater. It's about murder in the streets, but they want to have some high upper hand.
And that's what my point earlier I wanted to also get into when I sent you guys the picture from Etsy. Right, the fucking arts, and it's like, these are the top 10 Black artists you need to know. Whether they had talent or not, it doesn't matter. Now I have to look at them. I should know this, because otherwise I'm not paying attention.
Was that the Kenyan who had duck feet on a plate? That was their art
yes,
or something? Yeah, something strong.
But these are the 10 Black artists you must know. And I'm like, well, why? If you know what I mean?
An artist is just an artist. Don't matter if he's black, white, or yellow.
That's my point. Like, why did Etsy it was an Etsy official thing? And I said, why does this matter? This is the point. People are bending, even in game companies right now. Every game company has put up their BLM flag, and they've gone and said, we will no longer be doing this, this, and this because it is culturally insensitive. These games have been around for 30 years, and nobody's ever stopped anyone of color or even sexual orientation or religious. Nobody's been stopped from playing these games. Nobody's been stopped from doing these things.
Look, man.
And now they feel like now they need to bend over so far backwards that they're going to break their fucking spine.
What Ben said, I want to just tag on what Ben said about all these people, these comedians in this instance, but this quote unquote actors, celebrities who are fighting for the cause and decide to put their opinion, but when push comes to shove and the real matters come into play, they're not there to be seen. Like you said, they're talking about the theater. Well, what about everything else that's going on in Chicago?
Right.
What about all the hoods?
Dude,
what about all the ghettos?
Amber
what about
Ruffin
all
is hilarious.
Underprivileged kids, whether they're black or white or yellow or Spanish or Chinese, doesn't matter. No one's. But what I'm saying is, John Boyega, and shout out to him. And I'm not just saying this because he's a Star Wars guy, but it caught my eye because he's a Star Wars actor. And I know who he is. He came out and put his career on the line and says, I don't care if I get blackballed. I'm standing up for what I believe in. And the guy stood up for what he believed in, and he started to march with everybody wherever he was, whether in England or wherever the hell it was. And he got on the microphone, teary-eyed and all, and hopefully he wasn't acting and he was speaking from the heart, but he stood up for what he believed in and doesn't care if he was going to get blackballed and never start another movie again. Maybe because he's financially comfortable now, he can afford to do it. I don't know. Or maybe he's coming in and he's being sincere and he's talking from the heart, which is, I hope it's the latter. But regardless, he was man enough to do it. All these other celebrities who are just standing there like that picture, I don't know if it's fake, I don't know if it's real, but there's a picture floating on the internet of Kyle Jenner. What's that chick called?
She said that was fake, apparently.
Okay,
yeah,
so whatever.
Photoshopped.
All right, so whatever. I'm not even gonna touch base on it. But everyone's so cool to say, Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, but it doesn't matter. You want to know the true. And I know I'm gonna catch you getting this, but this is coming deep down. You want to know the true? If you really want to know someone's racist, two questions. If their neighbor was of a different ethnicity, would they mind? Would they be upset that the person sold the house to someone who's black or Indian or Korean or Chinese or Italian or Greek or whatever? That's the first thing. Or if your kid comes home with a person of a different ethnicity, would you be upset? If the answer is yes in both cases, then you just answered the question. And it doesn't matter if you say
or you're talking to anybody who was born before 1952.
Dude, I just looked at another, someone who I want to have on, who I love very much, Rachel Mason's Instagram. A letter was recently released by black artists and alumni from Second City that struck deep in a deep chord for many in the theater's Latin community. We vehemently support our colleagues' call for structural change. For too long, Second City has willingly ignored its institutionalized environmental oppression. I never knew Second City that in Improv Olympic there were such like fucking houses of destruction when everyone's getting a goddamn contract from Comedy Central to NBC. Like woe is them. I just don't understand it. And maybe I've been out of the loop for too long, or maybe I was just ignorant to it. But I'm going to have to look more into this because it seems like either I can't understand it. I don't know how you sit on high after getting Key and Peele or getting these shows that people are once in a lifetime shots or getting on HBO and they're like, God damn that institution I came through that gave me this opportunity to fucking be a superstar.
Because you know why? Because it's safe. They are tucked away amongst a dozen other guys. If it was them by themselves, guess who would be sitting there quiet in the writer's room?
What pops me is the Latinos go, fuck, they're gonna get more castings on the main stage. We better get our shit in so we make sure we get our spots too, man.
Well, what about Will Smith's kid?
Yeah.
Because the trans and the rest of the trans LGBTQ, all those guys, like all that entire community, they are also oppressed. So man. They want to jump right on this.
Why not?
Hey, let me get in here real quick, Ben.
Yeah, please.
You said something that rings very true, right? And what this does is build animosity. That's all it does.
That's all it does.
Exactly. That's all it does. That is all it does. It's division. Even back with affirmative action, all that did was build animosity. That is it. That's all it does, right? And it's a giant a mind control operation, in my opinion, man. I don't know what the hell is going on, but everybody is just picking sides here, and they're being manipulated. Yep. Whether they're being outright manipulated or just manipulated through media. Because that's very possible, being manipulated through media and what you hear and what you're forced to say. So people say that they're, Black Lives Matter and all of this stuff, and it builds division. That's all it does. It builds division, and it's by design, and it builds animosity. And what comes out of that animosity? The alternative right, the alt-right. That's where that came from. And this is fueling more people over to that side. So then the white people are going to get pissed off.
Well, we
said,
said earlier,
everybody
what's the statute of limitations on how long does the white man, like, if you want to go down the road of absurdity, what is the statute of limitations? You could say 100 or 300 years of rape and oppression, but what's the statute of limitations until a white guy then becomes the minority because of the affirmative action segregation that will then push them? So the rules that they made, if it takes 40 years and 4 generations, so be it. But is there going to be a day where affirmative action then flips to get the white person back into the executive office because of what they made? And then they go, no, fuck that. We never did that again. So then they're going to be a hypocrite double standard when they're the majority because they wanted it that way, unless they create some utopia, which I don't see that happening. So the comedy at the end of the road is like, where are we going to go? Everyone's a goddamn idiot and hypocrite on both sides because the choice that they've made is going to do nothing more than divide. The answer is the problem, and the problem is not the solution.
You're 100% correct. And the more we go down this path, the more of a civil war we're going to have.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they want. By before November, I'm telling you, we're going to be at each other's throats. And it's going to be disgusting, and it's going to be unwarranted, and it's going to be based on a false narrative that just transcended like the domino effect or like the snowball, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Look, man, Hitler based his whole entire regime on false flags. We went to Vietnam on false flags. That picture you sent of Epstein's office or his house, wherever it was, where he had George Bush sitting there with 2 paper planes and 2 stacks of Jenga broken down. People don't know that exists, but that painting within itself, whether it's a rib on conspiracy theory or not, is a very powerful statement. And the fact that he had Bill Clinton sitting in a chair wearing that Monica Lewinsky red dress in another painting goes to show you, blue dress, whatever, goes to show you that this individual, who may or not be dead, obviously has all the inside tracks on everything. And he's obviously dropping it, breadcrumb over here, breadcrumb over there, breadcrumb over there.
How about Royal Family Dick, who's fucking getting subpoenaed and all this, who's coming stateside?
Dude, he's going to get, you ever see a part of Dark Knight? He looks like a squealer. He's going to squeal. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You think they're bringing him here just to ice him out? They're not going to fucking...
Yeah, he'll be dead. Well, he'll be dead within 6 months when he comes here. Guaranteed.
It'll be a car accident.
Something. Guaranteed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But look, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what nationality you are, what ethnicity you are, what color your skin is. As long as you have a good heart, as long as you have a good mind, and you're open-minded and you love everybody equally, and you treat others as they treat you. And hopefully that's with respect and kindness. That's all that matters. And I know it sounds like a Hallmark greeting card, but it's the actual truth. Because at the end of the day, all that we want is a safer place for our children and their children. And we want everyone to get along. Granted, the U.S. past is fucked up. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. And there's people today in this world that are messed up. Whether they're cops, whether they're Fortune 500 CEOs, whether they're athletes, whether they're actors, doesn't matter, blue collar workers. You're going to get bad apples in every bunch that you see, but we don't judge that bunch by the bad apples. We can't judge an entire police force on one individual from another state.
You can't take Andy from Mayberry though in a 20-year time period and send him off to war as a young impressionable psyop, go defend America, bring him back. Boom, they're cops now, and then they put them in the same Kevlar, the same riot gear, the same, like, you don't look like Andy from Mayberry. Dude, in our little city here, they got the Viper fucking Bradley vehicle, and it's got every microphone and 360 camera stooge thing.
Man.
Like, once you arm them,
jumping on both sides of this fence.
Yeah, but once you arm them, they're gonna have to, like, they don't spend that money on weaponry and all that shit and not use it. That's the thing. Like, the same as We got all this shit that we spent money on a military industrial complex. We better go drop some fucking bombs in Afghanistan and in Iraq, bro.
Okay, hang on. We're looking at the let's look at this a little bit closer to home. Okay, so the four of us are all together. Okay, and Stevie says to somebody, and it pops them off. And Stevie says something like, since he's not here and he can't stop me. He says something like, "Hey, you, I don't like your hair. I don't like your wife. I don't like your fucking dog." And those are fighting words for Stevie Richards. Mm-hmm. So this guy goes at him, and his friends come at him. Are we going to stand by and watch Stevie get his ass kicked?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. So let me ask you now. Let's put this to a point. Now this is your job, and these are your brothers. These are your guys who you're in and out with. Whether you believe in what they say 100% or not, you're going to protect them. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, now it's your point to, okay, I need to file a complaint. I need to do something. I need to, I need to get something like that done. You know what I mean? Like, I need to file a complaint. This guy's a bad apple. But when you're out there wearing the same riot gear, wearing the same badge they are, you guys are all brothers. So you protect that guy next to you, period. And I am saying, there are GGP. I agree with 100%.
Where is Serpico though? Where is Serpico? There's got to be a fuck ton of them. You know what I mean?
Right, but I'm saying, like, you are jumping on both sides of the fence, saying, "Oh, well, these cops are just mindlessly following." No, man, they're doing their job and they're protecting one another. Because who's getting hit with a brick out there? Dude, really?
I can see there's plenty of footage that show them inciting the other way. And you and I both know there's plenty of douchebags who peaked at fucking junior year of high school hitting home runs who are just happy to be swinging a baton like they're swinging a fucking bat again, dude.
Stop. You're making it sound like I am backing every cop on the... No, I'm telling you. I'm agreeing 100%. There are bad cops. There are bad everybody. There's bad in every fucking bunch. But the cops who are out there, who are doing their job, they have to protect the same guy next to him. The same, and it's just the same way I would expect you to get my back, or I would have your back without question. And people, you want to say, "Oh, you're stupid for doing that?" Well, maybe I'm stupid, but that's what I'm going to do.
We'll put it this way: if we're at a show and a wrestler's in the ring that we don't know that well, right? And we might not even like that much, but a fan hops the guardrail to attack him. You don't think none of the whole locker room's going to come out and defend this guy and say,
we have a pay-per-view that shows otherwise.
What do you mean? What pay-per-view?
The point is, listen, what you're saying is the day when Goof Troop, when you mushed that dude.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Honestly, would have been right outside the gate and just fucking ran in. Would have been over. Would have been it. Because it doesn't matter. And that's and now put it on a higher level of your life with these cops. They go out and they're told, "Hey, look, go stand at 4th Street in Maine." Okay, now 4th Street in Maine comes, and now here comes a group of people. I'm sorry, everybody, I understand these people might be protesters, peaceful protesters. Okay, so let's wait and see what they do. The minute somebody hurls a rock, a brick, a can of soda, you know what? That you bought it. Now you fucked up your whole peaceful part. Now that doesn't mean anything anymore to these cops who think they are going to die. And let me ask you guys a question. You've all been in a fight. We've all been into a physical altercation that we didn't know the guy, or we didn't know what was going to happen. Let me ask you a question. We didn't have riot gear or a gun. What do? We all got you get amped up and you're going to go. Now imagine having things to protect yourself with. Okay? And going out every day and having to deal with this, especially when your job, you haven't done anything more than give out parking tickets up until this point.
A lot of people saw you out there in riot gear. They sent a picture over. There's some big 6'10" bastard they brought in and stuffed into a fucking shell. They're like, "Is Sally out there fucking wailing on people?" I said it could be. You never know. If he's got the staff of Raw, he fucking might be out there knocking some fucking heads just for the fun of it, man. Billy Ray back over here, man. I wanted to say, did you see with the Ice Cube stuff and him tweeting the inverted Saturnalia things and along those lines, him like making Illuminati references in the last 24 hours?
I didn't see it. I mean, I know of it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the tweets or whatever, but somebody sent it my way. I just haven't looked at it, so I don't know much about that. but I do want to say something about the cop situation, right? And you guys made the wrestling analogy to it, and I get it. It's like a brotherhood, right? I understand that. I feel like cops need to be held to a higher standard, right? And I think anybody can become a cop nowadays. I know this.
Anybody can become a wrestler nowadays too.
Yeah. Make an argument for that, I guess. But yeah, I think the thing is, and it's not all the cops. I know of some good cops. You know, there's been cops in my family. You know, so there are the rotten apples in the bunch, right? But the thing is, once that rotten apple shows itself, it can't be defended, and it's being defended over and over and over again, and nothing happens to these cops, no matter what. You know, when
I'm
Wait,
sorry,
who's
Billy.
defending? But who's defending this guy?
Who's defending this guy? And number two, let me ask you a question. If this is all about justice, when he was arrested, shouldn't this have stopped? He was arrested and jailed and divorced. His fucking wife left him. So that's justice.
Well, that's a win. That's a win. Don't let's not fucking. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
He'll have a new mate soon. He'll have a new wife soon.
No, but that's what here's my point. If everybody's cry is for justice, the cop that did this, the cop that sparked this motherfucker off is in jail. Okay? Yeah. That's justice. That is justice. Okay? If you want to go back to hanging and all that other bullshit from back in the day, sure, let's do it. But you know what? You're not going to like that either, because when, you know, your friend, the piece of shit drug dealer, gets caught and he gets strung up, you'd be like, oh man, that's just so racist, or man, that's so fucking.
Why would that happen? Because now everybody's a pro. I mean, you didn't see this. You didn't see this, Sal, today because you unplugged from Facebook. But in the last 48 hours, everybody has the answer, and that answer is defund the police. That's the new hashtag. That
is the most ridiculous thing.
I knew I'd get
you. Look, man, you got Sal said it best. I mean, so did Billy Ray. Police need to be held to higher standards. Teachers need to be held to higher standards. Firemen need to be held to higher standards. These individuals who risk their lives. Now, teachers don't risk their lives, but they mold our children's futures. You know what I'm saying? Yes. What I'm saying is none of these individuals are looked at and say, you know what? We need to put them on a pedestal. We'd rather put these reality TV stars or these influencers or these athletes on pedestals instead, because they're wearing $600 shoes and we think they're so cool. But that's not where it lies. In actuality, it lies in people like cops, like firemen, like teachers, just to name a couple. Soldiers especially, all right? But at the end of the day, we have our wires all crossed up, and it's intentionally put that way. It's intentionally we are subliminally looking at, not we, but most people are subliminally looking at things with the horse blinders on, not giving a rat's ass about reality, because that's how they're trained to be in this world. And unfortunately, it's a scary sight. It's a scary sight. Now, last couple of shows, I told you situations that happened to me when I went out, right? I have a new story for you guys.
Oh boy.
Case in point, real quick. Yesterday was my mother's birthday, so I went out in the morning to the bakery by my house to go get her a cake. I walk into the bakery. The guy standing there with a mask on. I didn't have my mask on, right? I ran in. The lady over the counter is talking to me. He's standing all the way on the right, maybe like 8-10 feet away from me. I take a couple of steps to talk to her so I can get a better understanding what she's saying. The guy flips out. Oh, man, I got an immune deficiency. Do you mind standing back? I said, no problem, man. So I took a couple steps back. I spoke louder just so she can hear me, right? So I said, give me a cheesecake, a strawberry cheesecake, please, if you have it. Numbnuts walks up to me 6 inches from my face and goes, you know, you can go to Trader Joe's and get a cheesecake that's frozen and get the filling, put it on top, and you could save a lot of money. And I look over and I'm like, thanks, man. Exactly. Like, What is wrong with you? 2 seconds ago, you were ready to castrate me and vilify me, but now you're telling me my ear to go save $10.
But they need that tribalism and closeness of getting his shit in to let you know the secret. One thing, he's programmed, but then his human nature took over that programming because that was more important to relate to you. The fucking split of what they've done to people's mind and consciousness is so fucking apparent. Even Stevie sent the clip of George Orwell that I put over today in the Fox News freeze frame of holding two diametrically opposing thoughts in your mind at the same time is the definition of mind control in 1984. And it was right there on the Fox.
And it was in that video we watched too.
Yes.
That was the exact quote they used.
Yeah. What are they saying now here? That you can't, in New York, I think they're saying you can't have gatherings more than 12 people because of the coronavirus or 15 people because of the coronavirus. But anything over 100 people protesting is okay. Why? Like, when you're protesting, that's the cure for the
Brooklyn Bridge. You're fine.
That's the cure for the coronavirus.
Well, that means that Excite Wrestling should be able to run again because that's their usual draw is about 12 to 15. So should be able to get shows going there soon in Binghamton.
Wow.
And you know what? So let's do a kumbaya moment here. Yeah. And I agree. Again, I do agree with Billy Ray. So officers are vetted to a degree. Something that's been going on 30 years. They do all the background checks and all the bullshit. They run those tests on them. Oh, have you ever been arrested? You ever do this? You ever do that? They go through all that crap. Then they go through a psychological test. These have been the same tests over and over and over. They're probably woefully outdated. Okay. So yes, I do believe that cops do need training. I believe cops need time off to keep from fucking snapping. I believe they need a rotating schedule like firemen do. Shit like that. So all of these are minute things. It's minutia that is going to get overlooked because everybody's too angry at police beating people or being fucking animals and yada, yada, yada. At the same time, I think as people, as ready, everybody get your fucking kumbaya hat on because as a human race, we all need some fucking new training too to deal with how to treat people like humans again. Because all we're doing right now is just over and over and over the same shit. And when people go, well, Black Lives Matter, and they go, all lives matter, shut the fuck up. We don't need that. We don't need that. Okay? We need to listen. We need to kind of comprehend each other again. And we need to fucking talk. That's what needs to be done. So maybe we need to be retrained.
To me, I'd say it's improv. That's improv 101, active listening, saying yes to the other person's idea and supporting them no matter what. So they say, I got their back.
Maybe everybody should take some improv class and just kind of figure out.
I would recommend it, but now they fucked that up too. As they heard earlier tonight, they fucked it over on everything's fucked. They fucked away. Dude, yeah. I was with you there, and I was thinking that. I was like, this is the one place where we can all get back to the innocence of our inner child and play as 8-year-olds again, openly. That's the beauty of it all. But now the people, I must not have known that this was such a fucking plantation system for them that to help get them famous. I just don't understand it. I can't.
Look where we grew up. We grew up in New York and we grew up in Philly, two of the most diverse cities in this country. Okay, I grew up in Queens and Rosedale. So did Sal. All right, I went to an all-black junior high school. It was only 10 white kids.
231, man.
231, right? Yeah. Dr. Anderson was the principal, you know? Bro. So
Gigi, let me ask you a question. This is pertinent to this. So do you remember the busing situation? They were closing the 7th grade annex to send us to 231. They closed the PS 138 annex. They didn't want us to go. They didn't want to reopen it. And there was such a big deal. And all we knew, we had time off because they were boycotting the school. But then when we went to 231, and I think I actually mentioned this on Ben's fucking podcast years ago. I went to 231 my first day. I was beaten to shit because I was a white kid on a bus who didn't want to go to 231. I was like, I didn't know I didn't want to go. They just knew our parents protested. They knew that people didn't want to bus kids into a bad neighborhood, which 231 was in a shit neighborhood, dude. I'm not going to lie.
No, it was.
It was a shit neighborhood, and we took public bus. And again, my first day of school, walked off and got the fucking shit kicked out of me by four black dudes. you know what? That was part of growing up.
Yeah.
It sucked. It sucked, but I moved on. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear, like, I don't know. I find it just what you're saying. We grew up in this situation. It didn't change. It went away, but things didn't change. But everyone got better.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everyone got better. And when we see people now, whether they're black, they're Chinese, Indian, Greek, Italian, Irish, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian, it doesn't matter, because our states, our cities are so diverse that we've seen a million of them. Or if you go to some freaking town down in freaking bumfuck Idaho or Nebraska, and they've never seen a person from the Middle East or from India or whatever the case may be.
Or they think everybody is from the Middle East, even if they're from India.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So to us, maybe we're talking about this because we've experienced this, we've seen it. I mean, some of us, like you said, you got beat up because you're white. It happens, Me, my first fight at 231 was with the other white kid, Patrick Hinckley. We got into a big fight. You know what I'm saying? And it happens. And my other fight was with my best friend in junior high school, who was another white kid. So, I mean, it is what it is. Did I get picked on? Yeah. It happened once or twice. I got picked on because of the color on my skin. But you stand up for yourself, you earn the respect. If you get punched, you punch back. That's life, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, look, I don't see color. I don't. And I'm not just saying that to play the baby face. I trained at the doghouse. My trainer, Homicide. There must have been 5 white people at the doghouse. It was all Puerto Ricans and blacks in East New York. I don't care. It was all about the wrestling for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the doghouse alumni, it's nothing but a diversified group of guys who just came up together with the love of wrestling. And that's it. And the guy who started it was an Italian white.
Well, what you're saying is common ground. What Sal's saying is listening and communicating. Where is the common ground as human beings? Wrestling is a common ground. Sports are a common ground. Music is a common ground.
We have a lot of. I agree with you. All those common grounds. We have a lot more in common than we think, because we're letting the media dictate and pull the strings.
Sure. Exactly.
That's the problem.
You're letting them put that wall up between us. The minute. Okay, they put me in the room with Billy Ray Valentine.
Billy Ray's the media. Billy Ray has a media pass. I saw it, so it's his fault.
You son of a bitch. So that's what I was gonna say. They put me in a room with him, and they say, "Okay, listen, we want you to talk to Billy Ray Valentine, and then we want you to talk to this black gentleman who believes that Black Lives Matter." Now, all of a sudden, like, who cares? You told me Billy Ray Valentine. Why don't you tell me this dude's name instead of telling me he is a black protester who is for Black Lives Matter? You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous how it's all about how media is going to do it and how they play this, how they're going to play everybody against each other. And I go back to the fact that the minute you have to go on defense, you've stopped listening.
Well, that's just the human psyche, bro.
Oh,
we're wired and conditioned that way. It's in our DNA. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people not the 4 of us, but I'm just saying, because we look at things open-mindedly. We always question everything. We don't believe anything we read or see. We're just trained that way through our experiences in life or experience in the wrestling business. But regardless of that, like when I see Billy Ray, I see Billy Ray. I don't see a guy who promises to bring David Icke on the show and doesn't deliver.
Yeah, it doesn't come on. Nobody.
with a $3 Mac from the bodega hanging in the background.
I got to go out and get the Colombo crime family myself. I got to get McAfee. This guy's just sitting on the big ones going, nah, dude, I can't give up the treasure trove. But let us know what's going on in the Infinite Fringe coming up. What are you excited about on America Unplugged, man? We appreciate you jumping in here and laying out. But
how was your bacon,
man?
My chicken. It was.
Oh, chicken. Sorry.
No, I haven't had it yet. The family did, not me. I also cook. I do a bunch of things. I'm that dude like that. What's going on? Hey, thank you for having me. And I'm sorry I couldn't contribute more than what I did. But what we got going on? We have Larry Gators coming on Saturday. On Sunday. I'm sorry. And Bishop Larry Gators. And I'm serious. And I'm telling you guys right here, right now, if you guys want Bishop Larry Gators, you can have him. And it'll be a hell of a conversation between the 4 of you and Larry Gators. He's a hell of a personality. He's very big pro-Trump also. So he and I are going to have a very nice conversation about that.
Good. Why don't you smarten them up and tell them that Trump's on the same side as everybody else?
Some people don't believe that, and he's not one of them. But that's what we have going on over at America Unplugged. It's every Sunday. We got stuff going on there, and typically Don Jeffries joins me. He's been here on the Horsemen as well, and we try to break down everything that's going on. That's it. Nothing super exciting right now. Just trying to navigate through all this madness and see what's going on, man. Things are crazy. So if I think you guys did an excellent job today, man. I mean, I always enjoy listening to the show when I can, and I always tune in, even if I'm not in chat. I'm listening somewhere, somehow. But today was especially good. You guys did an excellent job at breaking all of this down. I couldn't be more happy with the information you guys put out. You can't find that on alternative media sometimes.
Well, we have to slow it down, when Stevie's here, because he just can't keep up anymore. He's getting old. So we're glad to get back to speed of the younger guys and be able to do it.
I feel bad for him.
No, I hope he's doing well. I saw him posting kitty selfies during the show, so I hope he's feeling better. And we miss him as always. But he killed it today as well on our earlier episode with McAfee at 1 today. So
apparently he nearly killed McAfee.
Can't wait to hear that, man.
So good stuff, man. We appreciate it. Like I said, running in. Big Sal, what's going on in Horror Junkyard this week, man?
Horror Junkyard, we got Death Metal Zombies. My brother's going to come on. We're going to have our little talk.
Awesome.
And I'm super distracted because I'm super psyched because my bats are back, man. I got 14 bats up here. I'm good.
Nice.
So I'm extremely happy. Yeah. We got Death Metal Zombies, and then we have Murder at the Manchester Morgue. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because honestly, it's been a rough couple weeks. Not doing any shows and stuff aside from ours.
Yeah.
And I look forward to getting together with Chuck and Kat, and my brother's just going to be ridiculous. There's a good chance he'll be fucking hammered too, so that'll be good.
Excellent.
So it'll be fun. We're gonna have a good time, and we're hopefully gonna do it inside, so it's not this disgusting sauna. Stevie's in the sauna. I'm in the sauna.
The outdoor. And also don't forget the new whateverbullshit.com project you're working on with Tuttles. That's going to be big as well.
Oh man, that just was weird. That so weird.
He popped huge for that. You guys got to tune into the McAfee episode to find out. But we'll definitely have that show as soon as it comes across the wire from Chuck. And a big episode 66 execute order this week for the New Force Order. Doing great work. I don't know. I sent you guys the one thing in the chat with Airsoft Fatty. The Star Wars Legacy's kind of like a freak show guy who did the green screen with the lightsaber and whatnot. Yeah. But he's got millions of followers and he's a Star Wars super expert. Might be a good thing to team up with Airsoft Fatty for an episode coming up here, man. Could be a fun time.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's funny you guys are doing the Order 66 because that's the name of the episode.
Oh, I know.
Execute episode 66.
Sure.
So it was a fun time last night. I mean, we didn't really have much news to talk about, so we tried to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. We busted each other's balls tremendously last night like we always do. But we had a bonus episode that we filmed. See, Doc over at Alex Roy over at NFO, he's an avid toy collector. So he ordered some stuff from Walmart, and it came all beat up and battered, right? So the value's out the window. So what we did is we called Walmart Service Center, and we spoke to a representative. He spoke to him as Watto, the flying. I spoke to him as the Sheik, and Spiro, Darth Spiridon, spoke to him as Lei Lin from Carlito's Way, the guy in the wheelchair. Look at me, I'm wearing a diaper. And we taped it. And we went on for like 10 minutes just talking to the guy. So what happened? We end up getting a refund and new figure set to Doc. So we're gonna throw that on the episode. We're gonna throw that up on the podcast as well.
Excellent, man. And as we approach 2 million here at hackerhameen.podbean.com, it's all because it's all of a group effort, man. With guys growing their own brands on their own farmland, where we come together here on the main shows, the locker rooms, the review shows, and everything that spins out to give you all the great nerddom, the subcategories that you want. We're breaking out into MMA even more. John Hartnett and Blake Troop going to do something. We've been doing the Pick'em Challenge with MMA, UFC now. That's been a great addition to the Hameen Media discussion group.
So you side with the enemy. I see how it goes. Anything for $1.
Yeah, that's right. Seriously. That's awesome. We got to put it all out there. And yeah, I appreciate everybody with subscriptions, bits, and all the hits. But we're going to keep, just more and more bigger content. And once we hit 2 million, there's going to be no stopping us now.
Wait till Sal and I do a new podcast with Super Cop Dick Justice.
Oh,
just
shit.
To show you.
It's over then. We'll see. It'll be probably sponsored by Dippin' Donuts, I'm sure, because they can suck them down, infidels. But we're going to put them down here, and we're just going to keep looking at all the truth as it comes out, or all the conspiracies with a truthful eye. Appreciate Billy Ray Valentine. Big Stevie Cool, we miss you. On behalf of Sal Allah and the Greek one himself, it's Hacker Hameen. Conspiracy Horsemen out. Yallah.